the technical person?
Well, I'm Elisa's husband,
Oh,
but I'm
hi.
also the technical person.
Hi, I'm Kate Stevens.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you.
I'm getting, so I think the plan is for you to either sit or stand here, and then I have this set up so I can get a good
Turn it
frame.
around to
Yeah.
people as they speak.
Well,
Because they don't want to, there's no sense having it just be me.
yeah, well, that or they
I'd
can
rather
come
have
up
it
here.
the two kids.
Yeah.
Kids.
I mean, I could always have it put it right here.
That's not me. What is that?
Well, there's a delay.
Like somebody just
Yeah.
came up here.
There's a delay, but I mean, maybe we could put Elisa and Nick.
That's what I'm
Next to you?
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be better.
Because the family doesn't, they don't know me.
Right. Okay. Well, let's put 2 chairs here.
There's those two. You can't tell because there's a delay.
I know, you gotta give it a second. It's also streaming right now, so.
Are people
Yeah, that's
there?
perfect. I'm sure people will be tuning in here shortly. So,
Okay.
and then I turned comments on, so anybody that wants to say something that's not here, they can leave a comment, and then we can.
And someone can read it or something.
So,
How are you? Wow. How you doing?
Got some days.
Good to see you.
No.
Oh. Yeah.
Hey, Keith. Good. Good to see you.
Yeah, this was very sweet. I think getting the tents was a really good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. It had to come from Nick.
Why do you say that?
Because of the cycling motif. He's quite the
Oh,
cyclist.
right. The whole bike service. But
Yeah.
it seems like it's some company, maybe he works for them.
Devin,
Hi.
I'm Seal.
I'm Devin.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you, Carmen.
Yeah.
How are you doing? Sorry, I'm sticky and gross.
I know, we all are.
How are you?
How you doing?
I'm Devin.
This is my husband, Devin.
Yes,
Nice to meet you.
See you lurking around on Facebook and stuff.
Yeah.
We decided that you and Nick should be up here too, not me. They don't know me. I mean, I'll sit right up beside you, but you know, anyone who wants, they want to see you. And if you want to invite someone who speaks to come up.
So, do we want the camera just like facing you, or should I?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Here's the other thing. Like, I have no idea how many people are actually coming.
Right.
Like, it may be this, or it may be all of this. I don't know.
You said 20 that you knew of.
Yeah, and then some of
Family.
those people failed. So,
Oh.
so I don't know.
You're wondering if it could be on the side and catching more people?
Yeah. I mean, we can do it. Like, this is fine. It's already set up.
Yeah,
But if we want to
a race mate this year.
shuffle it around, we've got.
Yeah, that was such a big deal.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think it would matter. Covers the bikes when it's raining with the trailer hitch. That was a huge key for me.
I mean, we can do that, and then if anybody wants to
Oh, yeah, that works. Oh, yeah.
speak, like, they can stand up
It looked
here.
like somebody's eating out of your garden.
I'm sure it was.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like my garden is just some areas ago. Cut off.
I haven't put the camera out to find out who it is yet. But.
I got audio on the.
Yeah, I got
Alright.
So, where do you want it? I mean, I could put it over here. Although that cord is only so long. Maybe I'll.
I mean, should we put it here and then go this way because there's more shade over here? Although I don't want that to overheat either.
That's not gonna overheat.
sweat. Yeah. Yeah, as long as the winds aren't too bad, it's all standing. Sugar Bush coming up next. The next 3 races are all in March. I think a lot of it is, yeah, they're still doing it for the racers so they can get the revenue. And then we were encouraged to go to the racers and check.
There's water and Gatorades and stuff. Seltzers, yeah. Are you hydrated? I know it's super hot and disgusting right now. There's water, yeah, under there. Oh. No, I was worried about rain. I wasn't really considering the temperature. So yeah, so we're so we figured we'll just have this and people can chat and everything, and then the tree is right down here. I don't know if you can see the shovel handles and the. So we already dug the hole. We already put it in there. So our plans were that Nick and I'll sprinkle some of her ashes, and then everybody.
Oh boy, here we go. No.
Yeah, we've got dirt and compost, and they can participate in whatever way they want to. Yeah. Hi.
This is much better. I added a couple more chairs so that maybe you and Elisa could sit there, and Nick, or I could, and Nick, and I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a couple guys actually not fighting the race. One time, one guy's a pro. He races a size smaller than me, and I was like, I totally understand that. But just your speed doesn't need to move it around that much. I don't know.
Yes, he did. I know.
Just did my first rough car ride the other day. I rode a real road bike as opposed to a mountain bike. Very different, just going up the roads with taking really fantastic. Yeah, careful on the footing there. Low on big buses. I know, right? Well, guess what? It rained a little bit. I know that my range was 76 battery band. Come on.
Yeah, the one I have, I lent to my neighbor.
I got the
He
wall.
joined a band that plays concerts Friday night in town. Yeah, but it's so long. Practice around the music's down. Those little plastic things going around, but that was cool for one evening.
Hey, how are you doing? I'm Devin.
You,
Lisa's husband. Lisa's husband.
nice to meet you. Devin, Dereliction changing. Okay. Got some serious J plates out there. Look at this.
I'm not alone. It's not
That's exciting. Where does Andy live?
Me too.
Often Mag said North Carolina. I don't know what the connection was to Mag said, but it's on as good a place as any. Get out there into the.
They still feel the same way that they stuff in. I said that could change.
Stay dry. Not sweat too much. And recover. by 3 or something like that. But I put a bunch of small succulents and other things out. These things are massive.
I don't know, but
It's impressive.
you should see this.
It's impressive.
There's these guys in here. Just keep your head in here real quick.
Understanding the soils and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, no, my garden is sort of squat in comparison.
Oh yeah, groundhog. I've seen them around.
I tried to catch him, but I got him tossing twice. That hasn't really worked out too well for me.
Zach, how you been, man? Good to see you.
You too. How you been?
Good. How are yourself? I'm still doing the same thing. I'm trying to get to retirement. I got 1 year. Sue is not here, but she's retired now, so still living next door. Same old, same old. So hanging in the best I can through all the flooding and all this other nonsense.
I haven't seen you much lately.
Yeah, the Dolphins now.
Little children are never know again. I can't wait.
I remember as a kid growing up in Pittsburgh, we had one of the hurricanes come through, and it was really a rain event. But the rivers like backwash all the way up into like some of the lower areas, and we threw like a bunch of catfish and carp right there on the road and started flying. This is cool.
So we planted a new cherry tree, and it got decimated. We assumed it was the deer, but I was thinking because the branches will pull down those spots.
I shouldn't have fished that with mud puddles and then bringing them back to their sites and eating them. Oh yeah, you just saw a bunch of them out there.
That's almost like the Ian Buffalo. I know, yeah. Jeremiah Johnson or something.
Exactly, I know. I got money.
No, don't do that. And we came back. Had every intention of doing it.
For the time being anyway.
I gotta hide everything. Otherwise, you won't have a big
Yeah, who would have an hour before I get covered on my wood. Yeah, at least get one day. Well, Sue had some good footage of Capitol Hill. One, I think it was Thursday or Monday. It was just like a regular kind of like smaller berms are ill designed. The whole design of the water a remnant of the Baker regime, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. It wouldn't be so bad if it was like over 2 or 3 hours. Like you get an hour and a half's worth of rain, you get an inch and a half of rain in 40 minutes. That's crazy. You know, no place for it to go. I have. Montpelier on Ludlow too, because that's on ski. You've ever seen Volcano? It's like they got the aerial view of the main road going through Ludlow. It's just like a river street. And then the people in Montpelier were actually canoeing.
This is just enough. It's like,
ground routine. And the deer core, everything from me, 80%.
Oh, really? 96.
Like they leave me about 2 or 3 feet of plant, but all the busy stuff. Now last year they did it, and then I got a secondary room. Like,
But I don't remember that
secondary
exactly.
room.
Holding up.
Yeah, yeah.
They've been eating my pasta.
Oh, they love pasta. Absolutely.
So you're sitting up here with
I
us?
like shade
Sit
plants,
here
and
and you
pasta is my favorite shade plant. And
And I did it.
Peter,
Oh,
some there.
I'm not sure what that means. They're having their own kids.
Yeah, as did I. Yeah.
I think it's
They actually are going to
Oh, right, exactly. That's what we were just saying. Yeah.
the other
It's
big house there.
yes. He said there are some people that
down my property.
that they're
I call it the deer kitchen.
Oh, I can hear.
And yeah, feel free to like move chairs around. And,
They can from 5 to 6 feet.
Well,
Something must be wrong with it.
let's see. Nick?
What do those just go? It's really great. That's what it was. They do it as well. So yeah, it's like an honorary endorsement.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing all right. How are you doing?
Good, good.
Should I be saving a seat?
No, it don't matter. She's coming up. It doesn't matter.
Guess I don't need the hat under here, huh?
Yeah,
For a
okay.
shady spot.
How are you doing?
Peter? How's John?
They've got some tables here. I didn't realize that.
Did you see the J plants out there? No. No, check that out before you leave. Nuts.
yeah.
Really? Wow.
Never saw anything like it before. This high, this huge. All jade.
Massive.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. What's up, guys?
Mario is very good.
You guys want chairs? Grab whatever you want.
Yeah, we can move down one if you need one.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kate Stevens, and I am helping Nick and Melissa do the service today for Iken, Marjo. And find a place to sit. There are more, and we wanted to start now. It's very informal, but we wanted to start because we are online, and there are some people who I don't know who or how many, but somebody's on there. So we thought we should get going so that they have something to watch. So, hello, hi, friends, and family. Yes, West Coast family. So, you know what Alyssa said is this is just informal. It's a celebration of life. It's a memorial service. It's really just celebration of the life of one wonderful woman that you all know different ways. And I thought because it's a small number, we should just say our name and how we like. Are we a family member? Are we a neighbor? Are we an old time friend? Whatever. So I'm Kate, and I know Marjo because I was a minister here in Concord for a while. And got to know the community. That's what I'd say. I'll save you guys for last.
Okay.
I'm Jackie. I got to know Mario through Elisa, my daughter, and Elisa were best of friends. I'm Marianne. I am a sister-in-law, and this is my son Michael and his kids. But I really got to know Mario more in the later years, and that was a real blessing.
Family and friend.
Oh yeah, definitely a friend.
So that takes care of all that.
I'm Michael, her nephew. Marjo, no matter what conversation I had with her, she was always so interested in what I had to say. Just so pleasant, and she was awesome.
We'll make sure to have time for people to tell stories.
I'm Sumner. I worked with Mario's husband Martin for many years until he passed away, and kind of became part of the family. Came out here for all the holidays, Christmas and other holidays, and we took some trips up to Nova Scotia and a few other places together. And so we've been keeping in touch that way.
Jeff McFarland, next door neighbor. My son and Nick were 1 year apart, and of course, you know, neighbors being neighbors do things that neighbors do in the neighborhood. So.
Yeah.
I'm Peter. I live there. I moved there as a tenant in 1977, and I think Mario and Martin moved in 1978 or 79. I mean, it was pretty close to the same time. Remember watching in awe as I tried to scrape little vegetables out of the ground down there. Mario would grow these forests of peas and she was just stunningly good with what she did in the gardens. It was very impressive.
Zach, lifelong neighbor and friend as well. Grew up with Nick. We were in the same class. Knew Elise my whole life, so lifelong neighbor and friend.
My name is Mike. I'm a longtime friend of Nick.
My name is Sheena, and I'm Michael's partner and Nick's friend.
I'm Scott. I grew up with Nick as well, close friend.
I'm Deb, and I'm Elisa's mother, who went to school with Elisa and spent many high school days together.
I'm Elise, and I was best friend with Elisa growing up, and I think I spent as much time here as I did at home.
I'm Jackie. I'm Nick and Elisa's aunt, and I didn't know I mentioned earlier I was down in Maryland, but I didn't get up this way all that often. But then eventually my sister moved up to New Hampshire, and so this was a very convenient stopping spot on the way to and from. So then I got to know Mario better, and the children, the youngsters, the young people, I got to know more. And Mario was always fun to be with. There was always something. And she played a mean game of dominoes. And was it Lisa 4 or 5 years ago for her birthday? Even my mother came up to Maine. I've since moved up to Maine. And we had a girls' weekend, which was a lot of fun. Sort of a circle. We had another last year. So she was a good, fun person to be with.
I'm Tom, and this is my wife Cheryl. And 6 years ago, we bought the house next door, so we're neighbors. And Mario was extremely welcoming to us. Very helpful, very nice, very considerate, and just a wonderful person.
She would be very proud of this girl.
Good
Trying
job.
to do justice. Try.
Yeah.
Didn't have to do too much.
That's not true.
Yeah, you should see me digging.
I'm Bill, and this is Seal. We're old friends of Mario and Martin's and the kids, and we have kids a similar age. And we're good buddies.
I'm Martha. I live in that house right across the street, and had a lot of time visiting Mario's gardens and chatting about things and walking around the hollow, and it was just so lovely. It was just lovely, and she was always making these beautiful meals and all kinds of interesting things in the garden. You just never knew what was coming out of the garden. So we had a lovely, lovely time being neighbors.
So we're just going around to say who we are and how we happen to be here. And I think you came in since we started.
Yeah. My name is Deb. I live in Conway. I'm gonna cry.
This isn't testimonial time. That could.
Well, I
could
can't
do
help
for
it.
the
Just
moment.
being here does it. And now seeing these kids.
Yeah.
My son grew up with the kids and went to school. Conway Grammar, Academy at Charlemont. I remember Nick as a baby. We knew each other a long time. The first thing I noticed, Nick, was the garden and how good it looks. I miss Mario.
I guess I also came in right after you, Jeff.
Yeah.
So I'm Sue, and Jeff is my husband, and we live next door. And I knew Mario because we shared a lot. Mario is a great knitter, and I'm also a hand weaver and a fiber artist, so we shared that. And then also Liam, I have my son Liam, my daughter Paige, and they were kind of all part of the neighborhood group of kids here.
Andy
This is Zone. I live on the other side of Jeff and Sue. And of course we remember, Seora coming up here to play, and you guys were in that little band together at the grammar school. Remember that? The Blue Monkeys?
Oh boy.
That was hysterical. You guys were so adorable. We really miss coming out here, just up the hill and hanging out and talking.
Mario in a garden.
did you want to just say who you are?
I am Sharon Zingler, and I live in Ashfield. I was a very close friend with her. She's a very strong woman. I mean, and had great integrity. True blue to the middle.
Well, I know usually in a service like this you don't go around and say your names and things like that, but I just felt like it's small enough and so many of you I think know each other. I also wanted to say you have complete permission to move your chairs. If you're in the sun and you're hot, if the shade's moving this way. So.
Sorry, y'all.
So if anyone wants to do shade, just feel free. These are not pews. You can move them.
And I know also it's very hot and muggy and humid. There's Gatorade and seltzer and water in the coolers right over here. So please get up, make sure you're hydrated. I know it's hot and disgusting. So please make yourself comfortable. And
thanks for being here.
Thank you for being here. Yeah.
So Alyssa was going to say some words. We're going to have a chance for anyone to share stories or anything, and then in the what do you call yourself, the Bandicamp family? In the family tradition, Iken family. Okay, both names. Tradition. They're going to plant a tree for Mario down close to where your dad's is.
Yeah, no, they're making a little Chinese.
Perfect. So we get to be part of that.
Oh, nice.
Flower in the spring. We'll come back and see it.
Yeah. So we'll be here for a little while and then we'll go down and be part of that, planting the tree. So, Alyssa, do you want to?
So yeah, I just wanted to say, thank you all for coming. I know summer is crazy and we have a lot of people joining virtually because we have family and friends throughout the country and summer is crazy, so I appreciate you all coming. So I'm pretty sure everybody here probably knew my mom as Mario. She was a tough cookie who lived her life on her own terms from the moment she was born. She was a preemie. She was born at a little over 2 pounds during the war in Indonesia. her family moved to the Netherlands, and then they moved to the United States when she was 8, and they made their way out to California. And in her early 20s, she met my dad, and he also came from a Dutch family, and she used to tell me how things just clicked when she met him, and they just made sense, and she always attributed that to their similar background. And I later learned what she meant by that, when things just clicked, when I met my husband, but that's another story. My parents traveled the country, eventually moved to Massachusetts, picked up a stray dog in the process. They eventually settled here and established their life here at this property in this house. It was a little smaller than this at one point. I'm sure some of you remember that. When Nick and I were born, she stayed at home to care for us, and she took her passions for the local community, the environment, composting, to our elementary school. Yes, my mom was the one at school telling everyone how to separate their food from their recycling, from the trash in the lunchroom. That program lasted several years. I don't think that program exists anymore.
They have it at the dump now.
Yeah, she did take it to the transfer station as well. So when my dad died in 1999, my mother went back to work. She was the lab director for the town of Greenfield wastewater treatment facility. And even throughout that whole time and after her retirement from there, she was still very involved in the local community, including the Conway Board of Health and several other local environmental agendas. Till the day she died, she lived her life according to the principles she most believed in. In the best way possible, she was stubborn, and she always fought for what she thought was right. She was patient and kind, deliberate in everything she did, thorough and selfless. I miss her every day, mostly in small, seemingly random moments, but I have found comfort in knowing that without a doubt in my mind, she's with me every single day. And I still feel like she's teaching me things, like, to this day. So I know she's with me, and anyway, I just wanted to share some of those things. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for being part of this and for loving her. So that's what I had to say. Can I have tissue?
Give it the Don't forget her knitting.
Yep.
And her canning.
Yep.
Taught me how to sew.
God, she taught us so much, didn't she? She was always teaching us something.
That was it, but I do have some things from people who are not here that are on video, so I can do that now or I can do that later. But
Let's hear it now.
Okay. All right. My aunt and uncle in Oregon, my father's brother Peter and his wife Tommy wrote, "The way Marjo answered the phone was so nice. It was always, 'Well, hello there,' in her strong, upbeat voice, ready for a chat, not in a hurry. She always asked about us and the family, even when maybe she wasn't feeling her best. This continued during her illness, and she This continued during her illness, and she made it easy to talk about her treatment with us. She was so lucky and so brave. It meant so much to her to be at your wedding, Elisa. She was confident that you and Nick would be fine and do well in life." And
they online?
Yes. My mother's sister, who is also with us virtually, wrote, Marjo, I remember before Babel, we had our own unique way of speaking English as we dangled our legs over the third floor eave of the Scheveningen Weg for all to see. As they gasped, Mom pretended not to know who we were or where we lived. Poor Mom. We discovered that we were going to the U.S. and made up our own language and seemed to understand each other completely. Not. I remember missing out on the last 2 years of high school and those at university. I remember the glow of your face when you told us about this great guy you met from Massachusetts, the cross-country trip the two of you took in the famous green VW bus, and later tying the knot. I remember when you stood in the middle of the street and flagged Dick down, her husband, when I was in labor. I remember you teaching me all about bread making, composting, recycling, gardening, and then all the years we were able to share our holidays with each other. I remember your happiness with the birth of Elisa and Nick, and the wonderful mother you turned out to be. I remember the last 15 years when we grew closer than ever, and there was nothing that we could not talk about. I also remember that I promised Elisa I would keep this short. Just a tiny, 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 minuscule remembrance of the last 72 years we shared, and there's so much more. I could go on forever. Thank you for them, for being my sister, and for the time being with you. Remember, I love you, and we will see you in a few. Okay. Someone else can talk now.
So I've got the chat feed from some people who have joined us. Mario's sister Rose, her niece Melanie, Willem, her great nephew, Zachary, her great nephew, Johnny, Melanie's husband, Annabella, her great niece, and Alexander, her great nephew. And my mom, so I'm Elisa's husband. Marjo was my mother-in-law. My mom checked in, and my mom, Jill Roboski, she met Marjo once in person, and she was so interesting to talk to. She really took an interest in who she was conversing with. I could have talked to her all day. I love and miss her. And for me personally, my first time meeting Marjo, Elisa was a nervous wreck. But it's funny because Marjo and I immediately connected, and we started talking about compost, I think, within about the first 15 minutes.
So we're just open. If anyone wants to say anything. Did you want to say something there?
I do. I'll speak. I'm Mario's sister-in-law, Martin's sister. And I didn't know her all that well in the early years. And eventually when my father died, they came and lived with my mother in New Jersey. What state am I thinking of? Yeah. And for about 3 years, and I got to know her a little bit better then. And then we all went on with our lives. And Martin seemed very determined that there were not going to be any children. You know, the world was too populated already. Blah blah blah. And fortunately, they got over that. But when Elisa was born, and I came here, and I'm standing in the backyard, and I was not even allowed to hold you, because your parents were just so overcome and thrilled to have this beautiful little daughter that they were so reluctant to hand this child over to somebody who had already raised a couple kids, and maybe you could do it, but not quite enough experience. But they did overcome that, and I did get to hold you. And then when Nick came along, they were a little looser about things. And so then we saw each other off and on over the years and whatever. And your kids were about 15 years younger than my children, so it was not as close a relationship as some cousins might have. But then I got a call one day, well, after Martin died, Marjo and I would talk about some of the financial things, and I put her in touch with somebody to help her out a little bit, and she eventually just took complete control and handled everything gorgeously. But we would visit frequently. When I would come from New Hampshire to Connecticut to see this family, oh, perfect stopping point, right? Again, like Jackie. So one day I got this call, and she's telling me how she had the diagnosis of a cancer. What blew me away was that she didn't shed a tear. She told it in such a straightforward way. I could not have handled it that way. She was really quite amazing about that. And I'm sure she must have been in turmoil inside. But you two handled things so beautifully when your dad died and you were young. And now you have this situation. And besides what anybody can say about Marjo, and we all have our different feelings of either a family relationship or a friendship and whatever. But what I've come here to say today is how incredible these two were in taking care of Marjo. Absolutely amazing. And I'm going to give even a little extra credit to Nick, because he really was right there to the bitter end. And I cannot imagine somebody doing half the things he did to help take care of his mom. And you got to be a pretty special person to get that kind of assistance. You kids deserve all the credit in the world, and I know you're not little kids anymore, but to me you are, and you really stepped up to the plate.
Thank you.
And I told you I would make you cry.
Thanks.
Wasn't so sure I'd make Nick cry so much.
I'll say a little something. So I've known Marjo since probably I was 1 or 2 years old when me and Nick first met, and she's always been a strong mother. So a couple quick stories about her. Sorry, Nick, for the embarrassment. You already know what's going on. So one of the first times I remember Marjo and being such a strong mom, we'd carpool to Common Grammar School together, and we pull into the parking lot. I believe this was either kindergarten or preschool, and Nick was not having a good morning. He did not want to go to school, so Marjo decides that she's just going to wrap him up while he's kicking and screaming, open that back door, and head dive into the back seat and just yell at my mom, "Go, go, go!" She was not going to have him at the house then. He was going to school, no matter what. So it was always cool growing up, seeing Nick with such a strong mom. And another funny story about her is I first realized me and Marjo were becoming friends. I think I was like 16 or 17, and it was just me and her hanging out in the kitchen, and we were having a casual conversation about farts in the shower. And that's when I knew that me and her were more friends than she was just Nick's mom. She was a special lady, and we could just hang out and just have those conversations, and it felt like having a good friend right next to me, not even like Nick's mom.
Well, in the same vein, Liam, who grew up with Nick, was not able to make it. He's had to go to work this evening, but he did text me a couple of memories that he had of your mom, and surprisingly enough, they're all around culinary arts. So he said, "I remember running around in the garden eating carrots with Nick almost every weekend, and sitting by the stove and drinking cocoa after sledding. And the first time I ever ate a peanut butter and honey sandwich, it was made by Marjo, and it is a huge sensory taste bud memory for me. If I ever eat one now, I snap right back to sitting at that table or at the coffee table in the living room."
No kid.
I have a few people that have texted me as well. A family friend, Anita, has written, "It was an honor and a privilege to have been friends with this remarkable woman, something I will treasure always and forever. hold on. I will treasure always and forever will remain in my heart. My cousin Will, who is watching, wanted to say that he misses Marjo. He really enjoyed family visits up here. He loved when she would teach about living off the land. He enjoyed their conversations. He loved her laugh and her infectious smile. He always felt that Conway was his second home. They live in Delaware. And his wife, Julie, is also watching, wanted to say, I always enjoyed hanging out with Marjo. When she came to visit, I always learned something new in our conversations. She always made me feel at ease with her warmth, and I loved her laugh. I miss her, however I know she's around in my heart. And family friend who lives here in Conway but couldn't make it, Veronique, says, I met Marjo only a few years before she passed, but we had so much in common and were on our way to becoming fast friends. I so admired her knowledge, integrity, and I sorely miss the joy in her smile. I regret having not met her much sooner and will always hold her in my heart. I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anything, but go ahead.
So people talk about climate change and living simply and living sustainably. And it feels like, it feels like a new thing, a new awareness. Marjo and Martin understood this so well as long as I've known them, which is, almost 50 years. And they understand the concept of living simply, living true to nature, living in a way that respects the earth. And I think that was, well, I don't know if it was more Marjo or Martin. I know Marjo had a hell of a lot to do with that.
We will, after planting the tree, we just hang here and talk to each other and tell stories, but I don't want to, but this is a unique time, so I just want to just leave another moment if anyone wants to say anything, because we'll never sort of be hearing each other in the same way. So, but some of you didn't hear this, but Elisa and Nick are planting a tree for Marjo, and as they did for their dad. And we're going, so we can all sit down there, wherever you're going. Mm-hmm. They've already dug the hole and done most of the work, and have some ashes that they will bury, and then we can be part of planting the tree. And then we just hang out here, right? There's
little snacks. If people are hungry, we can get some country pie or something and stick around.
So I think you're all invited to stay as long as you feel comfortable, right? Stay over if you want.
Top of the truck there.
Oh, I didn't even notice that big old thing.
Can you take that down?
Is that where the bike's go?
No, that's where I'm going.
Is that thing on top?
It's my little room.
That looks like a hot tub.
Wow, where did I see this later on? So, anybody else?
I wanted to say something. When we were in high school, there were like cell phones yet. I used to call, talk to Lisa. I don't know, almost every day. And if Marjo ever answered the phone, it was like tack on another 20 minutes. It's like Martin was gone and she was trying to
parent and I was there, and so I would get to hear about like whatever was the thing of the day. So first I would hear about like her parenting things or like whatever, and I said, "Can I talk to Elisa?" And then Elisa and I like would get her time later, but it was like such a unique thing. I got to be best friends with Elisa. I got to spend time with her, and I got to like be friends with Marjo too, like always, and like show me some community, in like a special, different way than you usually are friends with your friends' parents. I didn't always love it because like I really just want to talk to Lisa. I was a teenager and I really just want to talk to Lisa. But like looking back, I see like what a unique thing that was, and I was always grateful that she loved me enough that when I called, she wanted to talk to me too. And that like I was as much a part of her life and your life as you guys were, even though I lived like fully a half an hour away, even though it was like right there. Now I think that it was a long ways between our two houses, but it was fine. I don't know, just like that was a special thing. When I think of Marjo, I always think of that. And all the composting things, all the things, and so many things, and those special like chocolate sprinkles that we used to grow that she like had imported like from wherever, and I can't find them anywhere.
They're on Amazon.
Yeah, they are. They're in the import section.
Because I need that like sensory experience.
Is it sacrilegious to say that she made the worst popcorn in the world because she put, what did she put on it?
Oh, the brewers yeast.
Brewers yeast,
It's like the pickled herring. It's a 50-50. One of my favorites. I know it's safe when these guys are around.
Bill and I have lots of favorite memories, but our very favorite, I don't know if you guys remember as much as I do, but we hiked up to Johnsburg Lodge, and it was pouring rain. And what a great family to be with. Like, yeah, so what? We're getting wet. Into the river they go because we think into the water, out of the water, into the water, out of the water. And Mario's like, yeah, that's okay. We'd bring out their clothes, and then they'd go back in there. And the next day we had to hike up over another couple of bridges. And Mario goes, hey, wait, there's blueberries. And we're like, where? Oh, so we're picking the blueberries and replenishing ourselves. And that was such a fabulous, fun family trip that we had to go.
Shall we plant a tree? Do you want to just say a word about the tree? Like what it is, what your dad's tree was?
Yeah, we got a European copper beech tree for my dad Martin, that we planted in '99. Had a ceremony, put something in there. We weren't entirely sure. We wanted to do something a little different. It's a flowering tree, so we went with a magnolia. So it should be a nice pink and white flower in the springtime. Good sign of life there. So
Thank you.
hopefully
We all like it.
So, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
So for anybody joining us virtually, since my camera's on a laptop, it's portable, I'll walk you down there and you guys can stay on and be a part of it.
So tell us how many people are on, can you say?
I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, maybe, not sure how many people are on, but there were a few more comments here. I think that
Anyways,
people
it's
want to
just
say.
kind of neat to know that we're not the only ones here, that they're paying attention and they're with us.
Linda McKenzie chimed in. She said, Aunt Marjo was such a kind, gentle soul. A life taken from us all too soon. Elisa and Nick were born when I was in my teens, and have grown into such wonderful adults. I look forward to keeping the memories alive and being there for them. Love to you all. She's missed.
Do you
I guess I
remember
have.
what she said at your father's funeral?
About your parents being hippies.
They were hippies.
Oh, my aunt and uncle that were hippies. Yeah, he was quite impressed at 14 or 15, 15 or so.
I pretty much want to reiterate a couple of things that you said. I had the honor of being here during some of Mario's last days. I can't say enough about these guys.
No, you can't. You are unique.
I also had the honor of taking Mario to a couple of her treatments. And she looked at it so scientifically. Well, you know, it's probably what's going on. And, you know, that's really kind of cool, isn't it, Jackie? Yep, that's cool.
Alright. So it's right down here that we're gonna go. It's not a long walk at all, but if you want to bring your chair, there's. If you want to sit or stand, whatever is most comfortable.
And I'll just come back up here. If it feels impossible to get there, just wait for us. We'll be back.
Hey, I was wondering where you were. Thank you for that call.
Yeah.
Norman,
I'm trying to get it back to her.
Norman called me. I was in Connecticut. So right up here. I was. Watch out for this pickup.
It was. Still is. Said it was still there.
Oh look, the guard is still here. That's beautiful. How do you do this, Mario, out here?
Sorry.
She's a little shaky.
I can only go to one place.
She hasn't had her first cocktail.
About that time.
Okay, do you want to put that like on here?
Yeah, because I stepped in an anthill, so I've got ants going up my legs.
I mean, it's a little uneasy, but it'll probably be okay for the computer.
I'm trying. They gave me a good base. I'll tell you what. Yeah, you might.
That soil from the hole, it's the rockiest soil I've seen on the property.
It's not too blinding.
It's a challenge. I don't
It took us a minute.
That's the way it is.
Oh, this is I know.
Just fit it right into the family and
You know, I felt the same way when I feel a little third down the
Oh yeah, it's where all that heavy grass is up to the
I felt the same way. I said that.
Yeah. I think there was a piece that finally rolled down the hill a couple years ago when we put the tall grass in. Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Oh yeah, the backing of the pile. Nope, now I need to make it another pile.
No worries, we just
Keep after it actually compost.
But anyway, something like that. And how are the boys? They're here?
They're in Wisconsin.
Okay, great. He was very
I know, I'm excited to find out when. It's perfect time of year. There's some over there. I noticed some always on the lawnmower the other day. Yeah. Grab a couple.
Perfect snack for a lawn.
I think he goes in there, like, you have to go. No, wait, but I haven't told you about the problem.
Call up the phone. Okay. Oh, I mean, sometimes I call from the office. I go, oh, okay, I gotta go. Yeah, okay.
I know.
Sometimes I put the phone down and just walk around and come back.
It's amazing how it's so nice to be a memorial. I know.
I inherited that too. Well,
I thought that camper was going out.
Oh,
that's new. The camper.